I am no longer shopping. I'm no longer on the market looking for the next best thing.
Right.
I am not waiting for a better version or an easier version or something else that makes me happy.
Right.
And someone like this, unfortunately, is going to keep searching and searching and searching. And after 30 years, they're not going to have any progress with anybody because they're still holding back and waiting for the what if or if only that might have showed up in their life. And they will end up being alone and discouraged and jaded towards relationships and towards life in general.
Right.
It's actually incredibly heartbreaking.
Welcome to the Secure Marriage Podcast, where we believe it's possible to fight less, feel understood, and enjoy a deeper connection with your spouse. We're your hosts, Paul and Shannon Elmore, and on today's episode, will dating other people help strengthen our relationship?
Yeah. Okay, this is a hoot and a half. Will dating other people help strengthen our relationship?
Yeah, this should be fun to answer.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see.
Let's get into it. You ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. Here is the question of the day. We're going to have fun with this one.
Okay.
This is not something that someone wrote into us. This is something I came across again on a kind of a marriage group on Facebook.
Okay.
And sometimes these questions just bamboozle me.
Okay.
Here's my bamboozlement.
All right.
My boyfriend of a year is moving away. I love him, but he's not the greatest communicator, and because of this, I have doubts of long distance working out. I don't necessarily want to break up with him, but I would like to open up the possibility of going on dates again with other people and meeting new people. I think he should do the same, but I haven't expressed to him, and I think he thinks I'm crazy for even thinking about it. I think it would be a good thing for us and would help us grow as a couple. So, if I'm reading this correctly,
Are you hearing what I'm hearing?
we want to date other people so that we can grow closer together in our relationship and become a stronger couple. Does that make sense to you?
No.
And then again, at the end, she writes, thoughts, question mark. So we're going to give our thoughts because she requested it.
Sorry, my brain is just going 900 miles an hour. So she's saying she's not sure that a long distance relationship will work, but she's saying that she doesn't want to break up, but she thinks that they should date other people even though they're not broken up.
I think it would be a good thing for us to date other people and would help us grow as a couple. Thoughts? Yes. You want to know my thoughts?
Yeah.
You're out of your mind. You're absolutely out of your mind. This does not help you grow as a couple.
No.
Ever.
No.
It's ridiculous, but it is also indicative of, I think, the mindset for a lot of individuals who are dating right now and why they struggle with not just marriage in general, but relationships in general. Because there is this desire for people to have their cake and eat it too.
That's exactly what it is.
I don't even know what that saying means anymore, but it means I don't want to commit to a person. I don't want to put the hard work into understanding and knowing you. I don't want to say I'm going to deny everybody else and I'm going to pledge my fidelity to you and learn about you and commit to you so that I can be here through the hard times, through the good times, so that you can trust me and become vulnerable and open with me and intimate with me. But I still want to be able to go have that with other people and keep my options open and not give that to you because maybe that'll help us be a better couple. Ugh.
Well, I'm just kind of still stuck on she doesn't want to break up.
Yeah.
But she wants to date other people. And I think that is an incredibly cruel thing.
Why?
Because what would be the purpose of not breaking up except for that you don't want, even though you're saying let's both go date other people, but what if he finds another person?
Right.
Oh, you haven't let him go. You won't let him go. Why won't you let him go? Why don't you just break up? Date other people, and then if you don't find someone else and you still want to get back together again, then get back together again. But what's the purpose of
What is the purpose of? That's a great question. What is the purpose of not wanting to break up but wanting to date other people? There is a purpose.
It feels very selfish. It feels very.
What do you mean?
Like I think I've got a good thing. I don't want to let it go, but I want to see what else is out there.
There it is. I want to see what else is out there. I am afraid to commit to one thing because there might be something else out there that could be better. And that is the lie. That is the fallacy for most relationships out there, if not all relationships out there. It's this grass is greener on the other side.
Right.
Lie or fable or fairy tale that is out there. There's also a presupposition in this, which is just like, well, if we aren't meant for each other, then we will find someone else that we're going to connect with. And it's just not meant to be, as if kind of they don't have any power or control over the success of their relationship.
That's a very flimsy excuse for just not stepping up and doing the hard work.
Yeah. And this individual will not be able to find a healthy, good, lasting relationship simply because there is this mindset of something is always better, or I want to keep my options open. I don't want to be tied down. I don't want to be stuck, or it's actually kind of FOMO, fear of missing out. There might be something better. So if I commit now, I'm going to close a door or close options to something that could be better out there. So here's the reality.
I'm sorry.
Okay, keep going.
I'm just still because you don't want to miss out on something that's better.
Yeah.
But you're still tied down. So how, because you didn't actually break up because you don't want to break up, you're still tied to someone. So how does that make you free? How does it I don't get it. Maybe I'm just old fashioned. Maybe I'm just an old fuddy-duddy, but...
Well, yes, you're all of those things. So am I.
But
that doesn't disqualify us from being able to answer this question, because I think that after 30 years of marriage, we have a little bit of credibility in understanding how this works.
Yes.
And not having a perfect marriage.
Right.
We don't have a perfect relationship.
No.
We're never espousing that we do. We can say that, not even just in the realm of marriage, but in the realm of work. If you pick a job, you pick a career, and you say, I'm going to get good at this thing. So I'm going to study, I'm going to learn, I'm going to practice, I'm going to give myself permission to suck at it for a while because I'm not good at it at the beginning. Back to my favorite quote, it's impossible to get better and look good
at the same time.
You have to get through that phase. You have to do 100 bad videos before you get one good video, or it takes off or people notice it. You just have to put in the work. And then you keep putting in the work, and you keep putting in the work, and keep putting in the work until you get really, really good. I actually heard a quote earlier today from a guy I follow, Alex Hermosi. I just love his thinking, his process. And he says, someone who goes in 25% on 4 things will never outplay or outperform someone who's gone 100% on one thing.
Right.
And people don't want to do that. People don't want to say, I'm going to pick the one thing and then I'm going to commit to it and I'm going to get really good at it. In fact, I'm going to become a master's level understanding and training and an awareness of this one person right here. This person right here.
I'm a lot of work too.
Oh my goodness. In more ways than we can explain on this podcast right now. But I made that decision, and I also made the decision that I am no longer shopping. I'm no longer on the market looking for the next best thing.
Right.
I am not waiting for a better version or an easier version or something else that makes me happy.
Right.
I am in it for the long haul with you. And that means we have enjoyed 30 years of a happy marriage.
Right.
And we're going to enjoy the next 30 years of this happy marriage.
Yeah.
And someone like this, unfortunately, is going to keep searching and searching and searching. And after 30 years, they're not going to have any progress with anybody because they're still holding back and waiting for the what if or if only that might have showed up in their life. And they will end up being alone and discouraged and jaded towards relationships and towards life in general.
Right.
It's actually incredibly heartbreaking.
It is. Well, it kind of reminds me of one of the stories on The Holiday.
The Holiday, one of our favorite Christmas movies
Christmas
to watch.
movies, yes.
Okay.
And the story is that this gal in the office, she's in love with the guy
Yeah.
that works in the office.
Yeah.
And the guy just leads her on and leads her on, even
years.
for years, even though they're broken up now, they're not together.
Yep.
And
Oh, yeah.
and
He gets engaged.
he gets engaged.
And he's planning on getting married to someone else.
And so she takes a trip far away so she can kind of just move on, start over.
Yep.
And he keeps calling her and texting her. And then finally he shows up.
Yes.
And so it's like, it's like, okay, you're not together, or you don't want to, you're long distance, you don't want to break up, but you don't want to give up that little bit. And you can't let someone else move on if they wanted to, because you're stringing them along to make them think that you still want to be together.
Yeah. It's a
confounds
horribly
me.
abusive way to treat people.
Yes. Maybe that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling very strongly about this.
Yeah.
I just feel very strongly that it's not kind, for sure.
Yeah.
So.
I'm sorry, I'm just distracted by how much hair you have on your head and just in my space right now. There's just a lot of hair everywhere. It is an incredibly abusive, it's a consumeristic, manipulative, self-centered approach to relationship. I will be with you until I find something better. And then I'm just going to move on because it will make me happier. And I need you to accept that about me. I need you to be okay with that about me. And you can treat me that way too. If we agree to that in our relationship, and you'll just be with me until you find someone better. There is no love. There is no intimacy. There is no vulnerability. There is no ability to have a long-lasting relationship.
And what's the thought process on how that can make them a better couple?
Right. That's the delusion of this will make us a better couple. How?
Because now you've had the opportunity to compare your significant other to other people, and this is going to backfire. That's all I think.
That's like saying, I really, really, really want to learn how to speak Spanish. I mean, I would like to become a really fluent Spanish speaker. So I'm going to move to France.
Yes.
And I'm going to just hang out in Europe and go to Germany and maybe Austria, and let's go to Finland, and I'm going to play with all these other languages,
and that's going to make me a much better Spanish speaker.
And I'm going to come back and I'll be fluent in Spanish. It doesn't make sense at all.
No, it doesn't at all.
I know we're poking fun at this a little bit because it really is that ridiculous, and I think a majority of people would agree that this is kind of a ridiculous expectation. But I wish that was the case, that everybody felt this. And I know that there are some people who are in relationships right now who are married or in relationship with someone who has this mentality. And you can just feel that about it. You can feel that dis-ease. You can feel that uncertainty in the relationship because neither one has committed to the relationship.
Right.
Or even worse, one has committed to the relationship and the other person is still holding back and saying, I want to keep my options open.
Right.
And that becomes incredibly anxiety building, that it becomes incredibly frustrating. It gets in the way of every other aspect of having a healthy relationship and a healthy marriage. And it is not good. You do not want to have that in a relationship at all. Go all in. You have to put everything on the table. You have to commit. You have to make it work. Here's where I can actually bring up my example I was talking to you about yesterday.
Okay.
We enjoy Amazon Prime's TV show, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Right.
For those who haven't seen it, lovely little show. Has almost as many swear words as Ted Lasso. I think Ted Lasso kind of edges it out. But it is this lovely story of a Jewish female comedian growing up in the 50s and 60s and kind of finding her career. Her husband cheats on her and kind of sends her into this personal crisis where she has to figure out who she is, and it now follows her career over 5 seasons of becoming a comedian. But everyone on the show is nuts.
Oh my word.
Her parents
They are so nuts.
Off the scale bananas. Her in-laws, Shirley and Moish Maisel, are two of my favorite characters on TV, and they are more bananas than the Weissmans, Rose and Abe. This is
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Miriam Maisel's parents. Everyone is just crackers. And pretty much every episode, someone's fighting with someone has a falling out with somebody, and they walk out of the door and they slam the door because they're just exasperated and frustrated. And then they go away. And then every single time they come back, and it's just like, okay, we're still a family.
Yes.
There is no question about we're leaving and we're not going to be in this family.
Right.
You're driving me nuts right now. I don't want to be around you for 2 weeks. I'm just going to be pissed off at you. But we will be okay. We will always come back because we will always be there because it is family. That
Yes.
commitment is there.
Yes.
And it is what makes weathering all of this chaos and train wreck of relationship. It just what makes it survivable.
Yes. Yes.
So many people in our world right now, when they hit a little speed bump in relationship, when they have a little falling out, when they have a little problem, when they don't have that foundation of commitment, they're out. They just walk away. They're going to move on to the next person, or even mentally, they just check out. And so being able to say, I am in this and I am committing to this other person, no matter what. Not just committing like I'm going to stay in the relationship. I'm committing and I'm going to learn how to be a better spouse.
Yes, absolutely.
Because there's nothing worse than staying in the marriage and being committed to it and refusing to try to get better at it.
Yeah.
That is torture for the other person.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I can think of so many wives that I've sat with whose husbands will not put in the work, who do not want to better themselves, and they just say, deal with it.
Yeah.
It's a horribly terrible way to treat your spouse.
Yeah.
Knock it off. Stop doing that. Man up and learn how to be a better husband. Wives, learn how to be better wives.
Yeah.
Learn how to love your husbands better. Both people have to do the work here.
Yep.
I feel like I'm a little on a rant at the moment, but if my podcast and I can do what I want.
Yes, you can.
I don't have to ask permission of anybody.
Nope.
Because it's so important.
Right.
Marriage is actually easy. Relationship is actually easy. It's not that challenging to understand. But when you have unbelievably wrong assumptions or false expectations of what you should be able to do in a relationship, and then expect to have results that are never going to happen,
Right.
never going to happen,
Yeah.
because you haven't done the work to make it happen,
Right.
that is insanity. That is just ludicrous
It
that
is.
you would expect something like that to happen. So if you want to learn how to have a better relationship, if you're going, okay, Paul, you've convinced me, we're sold. We don't know where to start. We don't know where to begin. We need some sort of system or program or plan or structure around this. You're welcome. We have a wonderful program. We call it the Relationship Roadmap. You can buy it at securemarriage.com. It is less than half of one couple's counseling session. Typically, it is inexpensive. It is easy to use.
Yes.
It works. It just works.
And it has some of my absolute favorite tools that have
Yes.
transformed myself personally.
Yes.
So
Yep. And if it doesn't work, if you go and say, we've tried this and after 30 days, it absolutely is not working for us, let us know. We'll give you
Yeah.
your money back. We have a guarantee with
Absolutely.
it. But we know that it works.
Yeah.
And that's why we built it. So people can say, I want to have a better marriage. The people who want to say, I want to have a better marriage. I want to do the work. I want to study and get good at this. Here's the path. Here's the way to make that happen. So securemarriage.com. It's called the Relationship Roadmap. Links everywhere to find it. You can just click on it and get started on that program.
yeah. I'm going to throw in a little thing here because we kind of have a little bit of a deadline coming up. We are doing our Secure Marriage Cruise in April.
Okay.
If you have been on the fence, you've probably heard about it. If you have been on the fence, kind of, do we want to go? Do we not want to go? We have kind of a hard date of December 16th is when our prices go up. So right now we've got fantastic pricing for the cruise.
For the last few days here.
On the 16th, the prices will go up to the rate,
Which is basically
about double what
Yeah.
our pricing is. So if you are
Wanna go on
thinking
a
about
cruise?
coming on a cruise with us, let
Now's
us
the time.
know. We
Don't
want
delay.
to get your deposit in, and
Yep.
we would love to have you join us.
Yes, we would. I think that's good for now.
I think so too.
Can you hear the washing machine running in the background? We forgot to close the door. So if that's what you're hearing, again, This is our life.
Yep.
Welcome to the Oldmores.
Yep.
It's nice to see you all. It's nice to be with you. We're almost about to cross 300,000 downloads.
Ooh.
300,000 people have
Thank you guys so much.
downloads have listened to this. Might be the same person listening 300,000 times or 1,000
Maybe.
people listening 300 times. We don't know.
Yeah, thanks for listening to our show.
Yeah.
We are just so encouraged by that, and thanks for telling your friends about it too. We've had so many people say, "Oh man, my friends let me know, and this has just been great." So when we get to hear those kind of things,
Makes our day.
It does.
So anyway, thanks so much. We will see you next time.
Alrighty.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.